How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Gavin Goes to the Movies. I'm Gavin. Let's talk movies. Today we're going to be talking about the newest DC movie that just came out called Blue Beetle. Never heard of him? I'm not surprised. The first time I actually saw this character was years ago in the Injustice 2 video game. And then again in the show Young Justice. But for the majority of people, this is probably their introduction to the character. And overall, they did a great job introducing Jaime Reyes, his family, and the Scarab. First off, the main theme about this movie is family. The way that they incorporate family into this movie is basically what Fast and Furious wish it could do. And what I mean by that is that it doesn't really feel too forced. We get to see the Reyes family, we get to see all the different characters in that family and how different their personalities are, and they all kind of shine in their own different way. They all have their influence on Jaime through his journey as Blue Beetle. Now, the big standout, the most recognizable face in the movie is George Lopez. Now, when I heard he was cast in the movie, I was terrified for a number of reasons. Reason number one, he's a recognizable face. Everybody knows this guy. Him being in this movie might be a little distracting. Reason number two is that he might just overstay his welcome and the jokes might just keep coming and coming and coming and be a little bit much for what I wanted in a Blue Beetle movie. However, George Lopez is a fantastic addition to the movie. I think he nails his role. They give him a lot more to do in the movie than I ever thought they were going to. I thought he was just going to be the side character, but he's in it for the majority of the movie. And of course, everyone else in the movie has their part, has their time to shine, but George Lopez is the one that worried me the most, and he had the most screen time, so I wanted to point that out. But enough about that. What about Blue Beetle himself? Jaime Reyes returns back to his hometown to find that his family is broke, they lost the business, they're losing the house, oh, and his dad just had a heart attack. At this point, Jaime just wants to do anything that he can to save his family's house. So he lands a job at Cord Industries and he's given this item to protect from this stranger that he just met the day before. Turns out it's this blue scarab that's an alien artifact that chooses its host. And of course it chooses Jaime. It basically ingrains itself into him and he becomes the Blue Beetle. He's a very likable character who you're rooting for the entire time. And that's kind of what you want in your main character. Having said that, the thing that makes Blue Beetle work to its core is how Jaime interacts with his family. The movie doesn't just rely on the main character to carry it, but the whole entire family, the dynamic, the different characters, all of that is what makes this movie great. You know that, and the great fight scenes, the great CGI, and the great practical effects, especially on that suit. I mean, come on, look at that thing. Damn! Fun fact about Blue Beetle, this movie was just like Evil Dead Rise earlier this year. It was supposed to be released on Max. That's right, both of those movies, Evil Dead Rise and Blue Beetle, were both made specifically for the streaming service and not for theaters. However, Warner Brothers saw what they had and they decided, let's release them in theaters, and Evil Dead Rise was a success. It was good, and this one was good. Will it be a success? We'll have to wait and see. So there's a ton to like about Blue Beetle, but the best part about it is it has personality. And that's something that I look for in all these comic book movies, right? Everything is so generic nowadays that we need something either new, it needs personality, it needs something to shake up the formula, and this has a ton of personality. The only real complaint I actually had about the whole movie was the villains, which is not new in really any comic book movie. Susan Sarandon, of all people, is the villain. And yeah, Susan Sarandon doesn't really have much to work with. It's a very generic villain and very forgettable. Where we get the action is through her muscle, Carapax. Now, Carapax is the whole reason we have action in the movie. It's him going toe-to-toe with Blue Beetle the whole time. They're turning their hands into swords, guns, whips, anything you can think of, they're doing it.
Whatever you can imagine, I can create.
Yeah, that's more like it.
But once again, him and Susan Sarandon both pretty forgettable. Overall, I really enjoyed Blue Beetle. It's a movie that has a ton of personality, great CGI, and fantastic practical effects. But none of that matters if you don't have a great story and characters to root for, which this has plenty of that. The villains are generic and forgettable, but that's kind of what we come to expect through these comic book movies. Thank you all for watching my review of Blue Beetle. Let me know down in the comments section if you enjoyed the movie, and if you liked my video, remember to hit that like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel for movie news, reviews, rankings, recaps, and more. Until next time, everybody, see you later.